Hello, friend. It's nice to see you. Oh, hello, friend. It's nice to see you, too. What should we talk about? Anything would be fun to discuss with you, friend. I know, that's such a fun aspect of our friendship. The trust we've established allows us to discuss any topic as freely as any other. I delight in this special bond we have built and share with each other. Thank you for coming to my party at my house. It's my pleasure. I've been looking forward to it since I received your invitation. Well, please enjoy these snacks. It will bring me joy to watch you partake because I have genuine emotional investment in your happiness. Thank you, friend. Thank you, friend. This is an excerpt from a normal conversation I have often with one of my many friends. Join me while we explore how to get more friends on this episode of Explorations with Dr. Leslie Tanner. Hello, listeners. Thank you so much for joining me again. My name is Dr. Leslie Tanner, and this is Explorations with Dr. Leslie Tanner. We have quite an exciting sojourn ahead for us today. We are going to be discussing one of my favorite topics, friends. Think about your friends. Think about how happy they make you. Everybody loves friends, and I don't think anyone out there, listening or not, would debate whether friends equals happiness. And I am enthralled to be able to give you an exercise in today's episode a little bit later that will change your life. It will make making friends like turning on a water faucet. But before we do that, there's just a couple orders of business. Today's episode is brought to you by Krueger Middle School's production of Pirates of Penzance. I saw a sign in front of this school last week when I was driving by, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't first and foremost a fan of the theater and arts. So when I saw this sign, my ears perked up, to say the least. So I walked in, I snuck into the auditorium where they were rehearsing, and I watched a little bit, and I'm just going to cut right to the chase. These kids are dynamite. The singing, the acting, the dancing, the choreography, even the set design is a breath of fresh air. I spoke at length with the director and assistant principal about what his take was, what the process was like, how much farther they have to go before they open the show. And I remember ending the conversation telling him, I don't know if he'll take this advice, but they should put up some signs leading up to the auditorium when the show finally opens saying explosives inside, because what's happening on stage is dynamite. These kids are pure TNT up there. So that is, it's Krueger Middle School. So it's going to be a 4-week run starting next month. So please check it out. Tickets will be ranging between $5 and $15, depending on if you're a senior citizen or if you are related to any of the children in the production. Please check it out. Remember, we can work on stuff in explorations, but it's also important to nourish your soul through the arts. So what's been going on with me lately? Oh, well, last week I went and I ate a hamburger as a treat. I got myself just a hamburger with some friends. It was a lovely meal. It was probably the best hamburger I've had in months. The cook on the meat, I remember, was terrific. Thoroughly browned on the outside, but then a soft pink wet inside that just made me drool on the table. I ate it fully satisfied, but then, to be honest, I got a little bit of a gurgle gut. So I walked out to my car, I waved goodbye to my friends, and I sat there in the front seat and I did some breathing to just let the gurgle pass. But the next thing I knew, I was at my childhood home. I looked around, I saw a keen-looking boy in a turtleneck with no face running up and down the driveway. He had a raven on his shoulder that did all the talking for him. And he said to me, "It's almost over, Leslie. It'll all be over soon," is what the raven said to me, although I can't remember whether they said it out loud or not. So I chased the boy and his raven through my old neighborhood until I found them. He had his nose in the corner, in the back of the school that was a couple streets over. So as I approached him, I surmised that the boy was me. After recognizing the pattern of the turtleneck that he was wearing, it was me as a small boy, but with no face. So I approached from behind him, and I grabbed his shoulder to spin him around. However, at this point, I woke up back in my car. Apparently, while doing the breathing to let the stomachache pass, I had hyperventilated and passed out, and shit my pants during the hallucination. So I put my key in the ignition and went home to clean myself and change clothes just to get ready for bed. If you've had an experience like this with any sort of ground meat in the downtown area, please write me a letter. We can figure this out in case this is not an isolated incident. I don't want to name any businesses, but if this is a pattern, we can work together to prevent this from continuing. So that's about it from Dr. Tanner and his personal life. So let's get down to it. How to get more friends. Like I said before, friends equals happiness. More friends, more happiness. Most friends, most happiness. And maybe that third step is a little much for everyone, but I'd like to remind you that this is a tenet of nearly every faith-based belief system on the planet. Go ahead, take a trip to the library and look that up, because it is absolutely true. And now, according to this explosive study that came out of Duke University last month, this is part of science. According to this article out of the psychology department at Duke University, only 1 in 29 people have enough friends to be happy. Think about that. I wanted to let that sink in. 1 in 29 people. That means that 28 out of every 29 people that you know in your life are sad, are sadder than they need to be. So we need to deal with this fact. You most likely are one of those sad people. You are sadder than you need to be. And you're going to be surprised at how quick this answer is going to be, but you need to get more friends. And how to get more friends, I'm going to show you exactly how, with this exercise that will change your life. Let that sink in. If you could have more friends tomorrow, would you? If you could wake up tomorrow and know that by the next time your head hit that pillow, you could have 1, 3, 5, 10, 20 more friends, would you do it? And I know what you're thinking, Leslie, this is outlandish. How is this even possible? I can certainly relate to the discomfort that comes along with being in a room full of people that you do not know. This exercise, though, will radically change how you relate to other people, because it'll do 2 things. It'll connect you to your confidence, confidently in the context of yourself, and it will put you in a zone of expertise. People love confidence, and they love having conversations dominated by expertise. So this exercise is to get you in your body, in your mind, feeling good about yourself and what you have to offer. Then it'll generate ideas and get you into a zone where you can speak at length about a topic expertly without breaks. And you're going to be amazed. People will want to know exactly what you think about everything after that point. They'll ask your opinion about the big game. They'll ask your opinion about television, about fashion. They'll want relationship advice. They'll be inviting you to parties and to their sons and daughters' baptisms, bar mitzvahs, first confession, first communion, you name it. You are going to be amazed at the results you get. So let's dive in. And as I said, I created this exercise for myself. I found myself at the bottom of a ravine, at the bottom of a gutter. I had 0 friends. I had alienated everyone. But I pulled myself out with just this exercise. This is the only thing that I did. And it turned my life around. So first, it's important to have a totem. So just find a small item, a bland, unspecific item around you that you can carry with you. I'm going to use a coin, a quarter here. And this is an exercise you can do as soon as you find yourself in a social situation that you want to be able to attack, but you're feeling stuck. You're feeling the same anxiety that's been holding you back forever. So go ahead, pull that totem out. Take a couple deep breaths. Take another. Now imagine you're in this party. Look around, it's a mixer. It's Friday, it's casual Friday. You recognize some people from your office. Also, some people from some other floors of the building that you don't know. But you'd like to befriend some. First of all, acknowledge this desire. It's okay to want friends. It's okay to want connection. It's okay to want a better life. It's okay to want to be happy. Give yourself that. Now, pull this totem out. Again, I chose a quarter. So the next thing you want to do in this exercise after breathing, focus on that totem. Allow the room to fade away. Stand in the room, but allow the room to fade away from focus and just stare at the totem. And take deep breaths until... Look at that totem. Just simply say what it is. I'm going to start with a quarter. It's a quarter. Quarter. And allow your brain to loosely dance around. Quarter. Half. Quarter. Change. Quarter. Dollar. Quarter. Currency. Quarter money. So what we're doing now is we're allowing our brain to just dance around, wiggle around a little bit, feel loose and confident. It's just free association on your totem. Whether it's a stone, if I had a stone, I would say stone, rock, ground, earth, dirt, sticks, and just one thing leading to another. And if you get away from your totem, don't be afraid. Follow that. Follow your brain where it goes, because your brain is the answer. So quarter, change, dollars, currency, earning, worth, stamps, post office, working, uniforms, children, playground, recess, bells, lifeguards, camp guards, camptown races, Glenn Miller Orchestra. Here I am at Glenn Miller Orchestra. And I'm going to stop right there because I have arrived at an expertise. So see, what we've done is we've stretched out the brain. We've gotten more comfortable with ourselves. We've gotten more comfortable just breathing and using our brain to dance around, have some little fun, and do this free association until you find that sweet spot of expertise. So while you're free associating, don't be afraid to walk around the room. So walk around that room associating quarter, change, storms, storms rolling in, rolling downhill, sleds, bobsleds, Olympics, Time magazine, photography. I'm just going to go back to my Glenn Miller Orchestra because I know quite a bit about the Glenn Miller Orchestra. So at that point, I'm going to hold on to Glenn Miller Orchestra, and I'm going to look for a group or a person that's not talking to anyone, and I'm going to walk directly towards them and think Glenn Miller Orchestra, Glenn Miller Orchestra. Wait for the briefest of pause. You got to jump on it. People respect that. People are aroused by that. They want to be dominated. They want to hear about expertly spoken topics. So now that I have this pause, I make eye contact, strong eye contact that I do not break. And I speak about the Glenn Miller Orchestra. Do you know the Glenn Miller Orchestra started during the Depression era and it had its heyday in the 40s. Following the war, there were saxophone players, there were trombones, there were trumpets. Harry James was a famous trumpet player. And he went on to run his own orchestra. Did you know that? And of course the answer is no, because they don't know anything about the Glenn Miller Orchestra, but I do. And I take that and I deliver that information. And I want you to remember the place that you have arrived at, how vastly far it is from where you started. You started shivering like a cold, wet deer trying to get its legs under it. And now you are a god or a goddess standing on top of a mountain looking down on people, and they love it. So I want you to take this with you next time you're at a party, work party, you're at the ice cream shop, you're at the library. Take that totem out, breathe, then allow your brain to free associate until you find the expertise with which to dominate. And I will be, gosh darn, if you do not have yourself at least one new friend every single time you pull this exercise out of your pocket. I guarantee it. I would love to hear the results. I'd love to hear success stories. So please, if you remember this exercise and feel inspired to use it, write me a letter. I would love to hear about how your life has changed and how you have more friends. So next up, we are going to turn to you, the listeners, and answer some questions with inquiries from the edge. So here we have Megan from Dallas, Texas. She says, Dr. Tanner, I have a problem. I cry at the slightest things, whether I'm sad or happy. For example, the other day, my supervisor asked me to explain why I worded a sentence a particular way, and I teared up at the sheer idea of him questioning my competency. But on the other hand, a friend will tell me something sweet their toddler did, and my eyes will water just as much. Please help me not be such a slave to my emotions. Well, Megan, my immediate advice would be it's called desensitization. So what you need to do is get a tape recorder, and I want you to journal a little bit and find the worst thing that has ever happened to you. It could be the death of a close one. It could be a physical or emotional trauma. Anything with a lot of meat on the bones, so to speak. And I want you to relax, do some breathing, and tell this story to the tape recorder. Make a recording of yourself recalling it. And I want you to do this once a week and listen to that recording every day throughout the week until you don't feel anything about it. This will stretch your pocket out. You're going to be surprised at how little you can teach yourself to feel. So I would imagine in like 4 to 6 weeks, you will find yourself not crying at all. You will find yourself maybe not smiling at all. You might just find yourself more bored, but you won't be crying. I guarantee that. And that was Megan from Dallas, Texas. Thank you for your submission, Megan. I appreciate that. We all grow anytime a listener reaches out with an inquiry from the edge. Listeners, go ahead and feel free to write or call, leave a message, and I will address your inquiries from the edge on air. Thanks so much, Megan. So that about does it for us today on Explorations. I'd like to leave you with this last question, something to think about until next time we're together. I want you to think about the smallest bag you could fit your whole body into. And I want you to look around. I want you to start looking at boxes and bags that way. What's the smallest you can make your body? Because the smaller you can make yourself, the more room there will be for others in your life that are important to you. And that is for another day. That is a tree of knowledge in and of itself. So thank you so much. My name is Dr. Leslie Tanner. This has been Explorations. Namaste. Listeners, have a great week.